Welcome to the 30th episode of the Three Sportsmen Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kurt.
I'm Sam.
I'm Trey.
And in this week's episode, we are going to be doing 3-minute takeaways for week 9 of the 2020 NFL season. We're going to be talking about the upcoming NBA draft. But before we get started, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, check out other episodes of the podcast, follow us on social media on Twitter,
At podcast T3S.
and on Instagram.
At T3S Podcast.
We really appreciate any support. So let's get started. 3-minute takeaways. You guys know how it works. 1 minute each. Trey, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, your time starts now.
I just wanted to talk about the Bills' 44-34 win over the Seattle Seahawks. Probably the best football they played in a month. Really not impressive wins over the Patriots, only winning by 3, and by the Jets, only by 8, and then a few losses before that. So best football they played in a while. Josh Allen was on his game today against Russell Wilson. And I also just wanted to point out just how great hands the NFL is in with quarterbacks. You got Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Tua, Burrow. I mean, the list just goes on with young quarterbacks. So I think the NFL is just in really good hands. And the Bills, they're going to be an exciting team down the stretch. I see in their schedule, they got the Cardinals next week. That should be a really, really good matchup. So don't sleep on the Bills. I know we aren't.
All right, Sam.
All right. This isn't NFL, but it's college. My team, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, take down number 1 Clemson Saturday, but it was one of the greatest games I've ever watched as a Notre Dame fan. I don't even know what to say. Justin Herbert. I'm going back to Justin Herbert because, could I not? He's such a great player. So last time I looked, he got hurt, but definitely has had a good game today.
All right. And then the Minnesota Vikings beating the Detroit Lions a little bit closer than I would have expected. Dalvin Cook, absolutely amazing game. He had 200 total yards from scrimmage. It was his first game with over 200 total yards in his career. He had 200 rushing yards alone, 2 touchdowns, receiving 2 receptions for 46 yards. Absolutely amazing player. Justin Jefferson made some big plays. But what really surprised me was the defense. Generally, without Galladay, obviously Detroit is going to take a hit. But offensively, they haven't been horrible. And the Vikings starting some not so great corners, I was really surprised to see that the defense looks like they're starting to put things together. The D-line has looked pretty good, and I really like what I'm seeing from Jeff Gladney for the rest of his rookie season. All right, so those have been our takeaways from week 9 of the 2020 NFL season. Let us know your takeaways in the comment section below. The NBA draft is pretty soon. As of the day we're recording this, it is in 10 days. It's going to be really interesting.
Might be the last 10 days I'm a Bulls fan.
Yeah, when LaMelo Ball
that was one of the
shows up
first
to Chicago.
episodes we had.
And I know exactly what I'm going to replace my Bulls flag with.
What?
Another White Sox flag.
Sounds about right.
Should be a Bears flag.
Nope. White Sox are goated.
Yeah, but Sam wants LaMelo Ball.
No, I don't. I want Denny. Denny, I think, is going to be the better player.
Well, I think first thing we need to talk about, some potential trades that could be going on. I've heard the Celtics might want to move up.
The Knicks are trading
They
back.
have like a bunch of picks. They have a lot of picks, don't they? They have a couple.
They have
26 and
14
30.
from Memphis, They have 26, which is their own pick, and then they have 30 from Milwaukee.
Could they package all those to the Warriors? Wouldn't want that.
I don't think the Warriors would do it. And I don't think this is a draft where, like, we saw the Hawks last year package some of their picks in trades. I don't think that this is going to this is not a draft class where packaging 3 first-round picks together is as appealing.
Because it's a bunch of wild cards. There's no sure things.
I mean, obviously Wiseman is consensus like top prospect, or at least top 3.
Wiseman, Edwards, and LaMelo. I think that's the top 3, in my opinion.
Just in terms of pure talent, not like mock draft. That's
no,
what I'm
not
saying.
mock draft, just in general. That's what I've been hearing. Yeah, I mean, Warriors might trade back or try to trade for a star. I don't know. What do you guys think of Charlotte? Do they trade down?
I don't think they're going to trade down.
I mean, if Charlotte wants to trade down, it's because they want LaMelo.
No, I don't. I think the LaMelo to Charlotte stuff is complete, like, nonsense at this point.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
You have Devontae Graham.
I mean,
You don't have a big.
It would just. I mean, they're not getting Wiseman. I don't think that they're going to get Wiseman because if the Warriors stay at 2, I think that they're going to take Wiseman at 2.
If they can't get
they
Wiseman,
need size.
If they can't get Wiseman, I would think
they trade
might
back.
be able to trade down for Okongwu.
That seems.
Yeah.
If they can,
if
they can trade down to like 8 or something and throw the Knicks like Nick Batum's contract or something like that.
The Knicks are going to want to trade up. We all know that's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
So, seriously, just package number 3 in Batum for number 8. Everyone wins.
Here, real quick.
Fits. Overpaid.
So the Timberwolves, there have been rumors that they would trade the pick. Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Anthony Edwards is 6'5".
Yep.
Do they take Edwards?
I didn't think he was that big.
Well, who else would they take? I don't think LaMelo's a good fit, number 1. I don't think Wiseman's a good fit.
So the only other option would be Denny, but I don't think Denny's going number 1.
Denny at number 1 is overpaying.
Yeah, it is.
That's true.
At least as of right now, it is. The site we get all of our draft projections from Tankathon, they have Denny at number 2 to the Warriors. I know you guys are
free
high on
ads.
Denny.
Yeah,
do you think he can fall to the Bulls?
The Warriors are really high on him. Yes.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. It's talent
the Warriors
versus
are exceptionally high.
I think he can. I'm not 100% certain as it was a while ago.
The Bulls talked to Denny yesterday. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they talked to Denny. I know they talked to LaMelo. I'm not sure who else they talked to. I don't know. Edwards, I think, will be 1. I think the Warriors might trade or Wiseman. I think that's my guess.
Seemingly, I'm looking at Hoops Hype right now. Under their draft rumors section, they're saying that if the Timberwolves pass on Edwards, Golden State would consider taking him.
How would that fit?
I don't see it fitting.
I don't either.
Unless you want to run some crazy small ball lineup with Draymond at center and Wiggins at power forward, which that seems like a nightmare.
I don't know why I forgot about Wiggins. Denny doesn't really make that much sense then. For them.
Unless you trade.
Yeah, unless you trade Wiggins. I mean, if Wiseman goes 1, I bet you maybe try and trade Wiggins and the pick for maybe see if maybe you can get the 8th pick in Knox, maybe.
Kevin Knox?
Maybe. I mean,
I don't see them taking on a project like Kevin Knox when they really like Denny.
that's true. That's true.
I'm trying to think who would just straight up trade something for Andrew Wiggins.
Draymond. Give the Knicks Draymond.
They're not going to give up Draymond.
I mean, I've seen Wiggins to the Bulls in some rumors.
Trade Steph Curry.
Porter?
Yeah, I've seen Wiggins for Porter and then swapping the picks.
I would love Andrew Wiggins.
It'd be Wiggins and 2 for Otto and 4. That's what I've seen. It would give the Warriors more cap relief.
It would. And especially if they're trying to make a move for Giannis, getting Porter off the books.
Oh, that would be awful.
I know. That's why I don't
feel like if the Bulls straight up, it would be for LaMelo, though.
I think the problem with Golden State at 2, I think teams are going to be hesitant to trade with them because they don't want another San Antonio Spurs one bad year turns into a 20-year dynasty.
And it could. It definitely could.
So beyond that, the Bulls at 4, who are you guys thinking they're going to end up with?
If Edwards wasn't in LaMelo or gone, I'd say they either go Denny or Killian Hayes. That's what I've been hearing.
I mean, I like Hayes. I think he's going to be pretty good.
I like Hayes too.
I didn't like him at first, but he's a really good passer, solid defender, decent scorer. I mean, he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, but I don't think you give up that much to either keep Kobe on the bench or have Hayes as your 6th man.
Or you go 3-guard lineup like Billy Donovan did last year.
That could work, and that makes sense. I had not thought of that.
He could.
Because they ran...
He worked in Magic in OKC.
Yeah, they ran Chris Paul, SGA, and Schroeder, right?
Yeah.
So then what do you do at 4 and 5? Obviously, Wendell's going to be center.
Do you have Lowry at 4?
Do you have Lowry at 4 or do you have Porter?
I'd probably do Lowry. I'd have Porter off the bench, I think. Although, I don't know. They might need Otto's defense.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
because with the 3-yard lineup, how tall is Zach LaVine? He's like 6'4", right?
Yeah. Aren't we letting?
He's not super tall.
He's 6'6".
Didn't we let? What?
Zach LaVine. Google says he's 6'6". Basketball Reference says he's 6'6".
He's a little bit taller.
I didn't think he was that tall.
So you've got a 6'6" small forward. I mean, obviously, Billy Donovan made it work last year.
I think isn't Kobe 6'4", 6?
You including the hair or not including the hair? That's the big question.
Kobe is listed on Google as 6'4".
Boom. Called it. I called it.
You just know your team.
Yeah, exactly. Trey doesn't know his team. I'm a real fan.
How about in 10 days when LaMelo's in town?
We'll see.
Shut up.
Where do you think Obi's going to land?
Tankathon has Cleveland.
And I don't see Cleveland as realistic because Kevin Love is still there.
Obi has such good offensive upside. Just his defense is a little bit worrisome. He's very athletic, though.
I would not be surprised if he ends up in Atlanta.
So it would be what? Young with where John Collins plays.
Wait, does that even make sense with Collins? Because I forgot about Capella.
I forgot. Yeah, they have Capella, Herter.
Obviously, I think the main need for that team is a shooting guard, so Hayes makes sense at 6.
They need to get somebody. They need somebody that that Trae Young can pass to. Because there's literally nobody on that team that can score besides Trae Young.
Well, Herter's a good 3-and-D guy.
He's all right.
I mean, I don't think I'd rely on him, but I mean,
I don't love him as a starter, but as a role player, that's fine.
Oh yeah, he could be a good role player.
So if they end up with Hayes running Trae Young and Hayes,
it's not bad.
I wouldn't absolutely hate it.
Hayes can play some defense.
Hayes can play defense.
I just keep on having like flashbacks.
If he can, if Hayes can pick up for Trae Young's slack on defense, that's not a bad backcourt.
Yeah,
it's not.
Who was the guy the Cavs selected last year? Why can't I remember his name?
It was
wasn't
that the guy from Vanderbilt?
Garland.
Yes. Garland.
Yeah.
Wasn't Darius Garland?
Yeah, because I keep on like,
and they have Sexton.
Whenever you bring up those 2 point guard lineups, I immediately think either Lowry and Van Vliet, which got abused by some of the bigger backcourts in the Eastern Conference, or Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, which just flat out didn't work.
People sleep on Colin Sexton.
He's really good.
It's annoying.
Sexton Darius Garland made no sense.
Garland does not make any sense.
And that's what like I keep on coming back to when I think about these teams who would potentially go with like 2 point guards that they draft like within 2 or 3 years. Any thoughts on Okoro?
I wouldn't be a bad pick. I mean, who's their center?
Who?
The Cavs.
Drummond and Thompson.
Oh, that's right. So I'd say that they're pretty good at. I would say that they're pretty good at center.
I would not be surprised if
short term.
If Okoro ends up at 5, I would not be surprised.
I don't know. I don't know. Okoro and Vassell from Florida State are similar, and I kind of like Vassell a little bit more, personally.
Vassell has a really weird shooting form.
I mean, he's good. Like, he's got some offensive upside. Probably really good on the ball defender. I don't know. I don't think he's bad.
I mean, Tankathon has him going San Antonio right now. Put him in between DeMar and Aldridge.
Oh, he would develop so good there.
Oh my God. People are sleeping on DeMar DeRozan right now. Like, obviously the Spurs aren't what they used to be, but still, he is still not a bad player.
He's still a great player.
He's still elite. He's still an elite point guard.
And I think there are some mid-first round guys who we're each interested in. Sam, Cole Anthony from North Carolina. What are your thoughts on him?
He's going to the Heat, right?
That's what Tankathon says.
Yeah.
That would be a good spot.
That would be a great spot. Just looking at how Tyler Hero developed, like around Jimmy, Bam.
Yeah, do they need another point guard? They have him and Nunn. And Dragic.
Yeah. Spoelstra helps, though. I mean,
yes.
Dragic is a point guard?
You get good coaching.
What?
Yeah,
he's
what did you think Dragic was?
Like I don't even know, like a power forward or something.
He's not that tall.
No. Are you thinking of Dragan Bender?
And
am I the only person who remembers him?
Bender's big.
I remember Dragan Bender.
I remember him.
God, I cannot believe that I thought Dragic was a power forward.
Not even close.
I tried. And I mean, that's 2 in a row. I'm 0 for 2. I said that DeMar DeRozan was a point guard, and now I'm saying Goran Dragic is a power forward.
Well, we know who is a power forward, Jalen Smith from Maryland.
A power forward.
I think he's going to be pretty good. Right now,
And,
Tankathon has him going to the Timberwolves. I think that would be a pretty good fit alongside Karl Anthony Towns.
That'd be a great spot to develop.
It would be a good spot.
I mean, as much as I want him to fall to the Raptors, I just don't see that happening unless Toronto trades up.
What the? Was
No,
it Nico?
he's not going to.
Was it Nico Mannion a first round pick like 3 months ago?
Yes. He was projected on Tankathon.
Dude, where he fell. He was supposed to go like one. He was supposed to go 1 through 5. That's what I
remember
saw.
looking at Tankathon with you like in like January, and he was like top 10.
Yeah, at lunch.
Yep.
That's also where we found that one YouTube video that said Devontae Parker was top 5.
Oh, I remember that video.
That
Things you find on YouTube.
was a great lunch period.
It was. I think we just want to end this off. Who's your sleeper of the draft?
That's
Any player,
I
any
mean-
draft range. Who is it?
if I'm going far back, I'm gonna say Marcus Howard. Currently, Tankathon has him going 54 to the Pacers. Like that's a steal. Same with Peyton Pritchard. That he's got that kid knows how to handle a basketball. I can tell you that.
Mine's Miles Powell from Seton Hall. I don't even know if he's drafted on here, but he's just a solid 4-year player from the Big East, a solid point guard. Kind of overlooked just because of his size, but I think he could be a really good player, potentially undrafted player.
I was going to say Marcus Howard. He's amazing. I think he's going to be pretty solid in the NBA.
Pretty solid. He might
Whoever
be
gets
like
him is going to get a steal.
maybe he'll be like a 15 points per game bench player. Maybe
He has that potential.
they have a guy coming. The NBA's got a guy coming out of IMG Academy.
Kenyon Martin Jr.?
Yeah,
That's what Tankathon is saying.
at 60.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen like that far back.
This isn't this year's draft, but one sleeper pick for next year's draft is that kid out of Illinois.
The
big
point guard.
That guy's huge.
Oh no, the
Not the
big.
point guard,
The big's huge.
Yeah.
The one last guy who I want to point out, I'd like the Raptors to get him if Fred VanVleet ends up leaving. Tyrell Terry from Stanford. He's a great shooter. And that's something that is obviously a very valuable skill in the NBA. I think from a replacement standpoint, Toronto could do worse. But as a whole, whoever Masai drafts, I trust him and the development staff to make it a great pick.
Trust the process.
No, you trust the
Trust
podcast.
the podcast.
Trust the podcast, exactly.
Come on,
All
Sam.
right.
Kurt trusts the process. I'm telling you, he's
trust the podcast, obviously.
Kurt's secretly a Sixers fan.
No, I am not.
Sam doesn't trust the
All right,
podcast.
let's finish
Oh,
it up.
I definitely trust the podcast.
Let's finish this up.
All right.
All right. So those were our takeaways from week 9 of the 2020 NFL season, and we talked about the 2020 NBA draft. If you like this episode, feel free to subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and be sure to check out our other episodes. Remember, the Three Sportsmen is a weekly podcast, so be sure to tune in next week. And remember, trust the podcast.